Hey, it's Pastor Mike. If you enjoy listening to this podcast and make it a regular part of your day, can I ask for your regular support? We really can't make any of our sermon series or devotions without the continual support of friends like you. Time of Grace, in case you didn't know, is 100% donor funded, meaning it is your gifts that make it possible for us to use television and print and digital media to share the good news of God's amazing grace. Just click on the link in the episode notes, and thank you for all of your prayers and all of your support. God bless.
Can Christians smoke weed? Now there's a question. We had about 200 questions come in at our church's recent Q&A Sunday, and that one got my attention. Can a Christian smoke marijuana? Now, I have to admit, I've done a lot of things and said a lot of things throughout my life, but I've actually never used a drug before, so I don't know the experience of smoking weed. I've never had a connection to anything like that. Where would we start answering that question? Well, we would probably start with the laws of the land. So the Bible does tell us in Romans 13 to submit to the governing authorities and to obey them. So if you're in a spot where it's illegal to use marijuana, then you shouldn't, because Christians should be obedient and submissive to the governing authorities. But let's assume, for the sake of this question, that you live in one of those places, and maybe this is going to be all the places soon, where it is legal to smoke weed, just like it's legal to drink. What does a Christian do then? I asked someone a few years ago about their experience with weed, and I said, is weed kind of like alcohol? Can you have just a little bit, just enjoy the experience without having it affect you much physically? You don't have a sip of a beer or a half glass of wine and you're slurring words and totally, there's a moderation that you could have with alcohol. Is it the same with weed? And the person kind of said, Now, I don't know exactly how true that is, but they seem to recognize a distinction. I'm not sure if you found that to be true as well. And then I followed up with this question. I'm like, would you be comfortable if your pastor had a glass of wine? Well, sure, they said. I said, would you be comfortable if all the pastors at our church smoked a joint after worship? Well, that was a moment in the conversation. Something about it. Like, no, I don't think my pastor should be doing that, which is probably a good sign. There's a passage in 1 Peter chapter 5. It says this: be alert and of sober mind. All right, so the Bible doesn't use the word marijuana, but the Bible does tell us that we should be alert and of sober mind, which I think you can't be if you're drunk or if you're high. It's hard to be alert. You got the eyelids, you're just chilling on the couch, you're totally relaxed. Be alert and of sober mind. Here's why. The passage says, your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Like on the plane, if there's a lion, the gazelle has to be alert. Their mind has to be sharp. Otherwise, they get into all kinds of danger. And Peter says this for Christians: I want you to have a sharp mind, an alert mind. As temptation, the devil is looking for someone who's weak and lazy and susceptible, who's easy to pounce on. And so we'd have to ask that question: does smoking weed affect our alertness or our ability to have a sober mind? I'm not going to do any testing to see, but that's probably a good question that Christians should ask. Could I enjoy A, B, or C in moderation and still have a sharp mind? Or does A, B, or C, by its very nature, affect the sharpness of my mind? You and I are in a spiritual war. The decisions we make, the words we speak, they matter. And so I pray that everything you do with your body, what you eat, drink, whatever you do, is for the glory of God, with a sober mind, a sharp spirit, and a deep desire to resist the devil and honor your Savior.